Hello, this is Chef John from foodwishes.com with beer floats. That's right, I hear this guy who's drinking an ice cream float say, there's no way this can get any better. So I was like, hold my beer. And then I was like, actually, give me that beer back. I'm going to need that to make these floats better. And while the thought of combining beer and ice cream might sound crazy, it really does work surprisingly well, especially if you're a huge fan of beer like I am. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to be showing you two different approaches here, starting with by far the most popular version, and that would be your stout-based beer floats. And what we'll want to do first is fill our glass about 2/3 of the way up. And I'm thinking probably any stout would work, including that very popular Irish one that you see in all the stores. But something like a milk stout would also work, as would what I'm using, a chocolate stout. And then once that's set, we'll go ahead and scoop in our ice cream. And while vanilla would be the classic choice, I'm actually going to use a coffee ice cream. And yes, of course, chocolate would work as well. And by the way, the first rule of Float Club is that the ice cream is always placed on top and never placed in the glass before the beverage is poured. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on these incredible visuals. All right, by placing the ice cream on top, it's going to slowly melt and kind of travel down through the beverage from top to bottom, creating this incredible, gorgeous scene. And then we'll also want to grab a spoon and, of course, straw. And if you are going to take some pictures, maybe dust a little cocoa over the top. But if you're not, don't. Total waste of time. And speaking of time, in just those few moments it took me to take some pictures, our melting coffee ice cream had overtaken the stout, which is kind of what it would look like if we had started with the ice cream in the glass first. But anyway, let me go ahead and give this a try. And the reason that stout works so well is because in addition to the normal bitter notes beer always has, it also includes toasty, malty kind of sweet notes that makes it pair so well with ice cream. And if you're new to the beer float game, don't judge it on the first sip. Okay, because despite the creamy look, those first few sips are still going to be mostly beer. But as that ice cream melts and gets mixed in, the float gets creamier and sweeter, and it will continue on that trajectory until the last sip or spoonful. Although, even then, there's a chance you're not going to like this. In fact, you might hate it, which is why you should probably start out with a little test glass, so as not to waste ice cream, or more importantly, waste beer. And I would actually have some root beer around, just in case this isn't your thing. Oh, and if you'll notice those magazine quality drips going down the side of the glass, you're probably going to want to serve these with coasters, or at least some cocktail napkins. But anyway, that was version number 1. But I did want to show you one more version, which is probably the second most popular. And that would be your fruity beers paired with vanilla ice cream. And right here I have a Belgian-style raspberry sour that's going to pair amazingly well with some vanilla ice cream. And usually these fruity-style beers are not very bitter, which is one thing that makes them work so well here. But they also tend to be a little bit on the acidic side. And as you well know, sweet and sour is always a great combo, whether we're eating or drinking or both. And speaking of the acid, I think that's why this version tends to foam up a lot more than the stout. So chances are you're going to get a much more impressive head with this one. And while I'm just showing you two of the most popular approaches with this, there are countless hundreds of combinations you can do with all the different beers and all the different ice creams. And deciding on exactly what to use is half the fun. So I encourage lots of brainstorming and experimenting. I mean, you guys are, after all, the goats of your floats. And it's going to be up to you to figure out which beer and ice cream pairing is the greatest of all time. But anyway, that's it. How to do real beer floats. These are basically just the same thing as a regular ice cream floats. Except, unlike the ones made with soda, these can make your friends seem a little more interesting. So for that reason and many more, I really do hope you give these a try soon. So head over to foodwishes.com for all the ingredient amounts and more info as usual. And as always, enjoy.